Now, there are two things that we're going to bring up before we get into our buy, hold, and sells. That's it for the games this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But here you'll see on our screen, we have the buy planner. So it will be placed firmly in our Insight Unlimited section where you can use it to strategically work out who you're going to bring in for the year, how you're going to plan around your buy rounds. And we've also color coded it. So then you can see dark green means that it's easier to score Supercoach points against those teams, and it's harder against the teams in red. So we've given you a sneaky peek there, ladies and gentlemen. Jump in our Insight Unlimited, and you will get that for you for the remainder of the year. Skiddy, talk to me about the mid-season draft, mate. So was there 17 picks this evening?
17 or 16, something like that. There was a few passes, 23 overall, but a few passes.
Yep. Now, we're talking about a mid-season draft, so people who obviously weren't seen in the eyes of recruiters as someone to be picked up at the start of the year, but people need to remember, aside from Bryn Tickle, the son, or he's the son of Tez Tickle, these are going to be 102K rookies, and there could be some playing as soon as next week, mate.
Yep, absolutely, mate. So number 1 to North Melbourne, we see Geordie Payne, which I really like. Young kid, he played with Riley Sanders and Colby McKercher last year in Tassie. Yep. He actually won the BNF over McKercher and the Zinger. So, yeah, I really like that North were able to pick him up. I don't think he'll come straight in. He might need a little bit here and there to keep it going, but good to see him come down. Jacob Blight for Richmond, big body defender, great intercept marker out of Peel Thunder. Really like what he can bring for the Tigers.
And
I think,
Tyler Young has just done an ACL for them, one of their big body defenders, and he's out for the year.
Damn, that
I feel like this is young man. Yep, this is a pick where I think he's coming in very soon.
Yep, I agree with that, mate, as well. Miller needs some help down back there for the Tigs, so he could have a genuine crack. I can't see Jack Hutchison for West Coast getting a game. Max Hall for St Kilda. The only way I can see him is if, they do have some shitters. Collard's not there yet, so he's out of Box Hill. I can't see him, though. Scaife from West Perth for Hawthorn. I'm not sure on him either. I don't think he'll get it in there. I don't think there's any chance that Will McLaughlin for Brisbane gets a game. Adelaide's number 7. They got Toby Murray. I think that's just a homegrown boy. I don't think he'll have any chance.
Yeah.
Kelsey Ripstra for the Dogs. I don't think so.
No.
Carlton, Cooper Lord. I've seen a bit of him in the VFL. He comes out of North Melbourne. I don't think so that he'll get a game at Carlton.
Mate, talk to me about this huge unit by the name of Iliro Schmidt.
Iliro Schmidt, he's picked up pick 10 for Collingwood out of the Eastern Rangers, and he is a unit and a half. Now, I can see him getting a game if Cameron goes down, or if Cox, how badly he's out. I could genuinely see this bloke getting slid in, and he could have a game at Collingwood. So he's one to keep an eye out for. Luca Kentfield.
Kentfield? Is it Kent?
Kentfield, yep. I had to double check that one. Okay. For the Ds, doubt it. Logan Evans, another homegrown guy for Port Adelaide at pick 12. Don't think so. Essendon gets Saad El Hawali. I would highly doubt it.
Yep.
I'll take it. Just a good guess. Sydney, Tom Hanley. Don't think so. But here's the big one. Bryn Tez Tickle.
Tez Tickle is back, ladies
North
and gentlemen.
Melbourne. I had been hearing about that he was going to be getting to North in the preseason. Didn't end up happening. And now Tez finally gets his way to North Melbourne at pick 15. Why I think he will come into the side. Tristan Xerri is doing well in the ruck, except for hitting it to his own team. But then after that, they're rucking Suv, they're rucking Toby Pink, they're rucking Charlie Comben. What I think is going to happen is I think Tez Tickle will be able to come into the side fairly soon, and he will get fair good game time as well, being the backup ruckman. That would then send Charlie Comben forward, I believe. Toby Pink will probably go back to the twos to get a bit more games under him. And then same as Will Dawson, Callan Dawson will come in, and then Logue when he's ready. I think that's where North will start to go these bigger bodies. And I reckon Tez Tickle will probably have a good crack at actually being able to play.
Awesome. That's what we love to say. The rest, Campbell Gray, VFL, Essendon, that's more of a depth pick there. I can't see him playing until the back end of the year. Luke Beacon, picked up by Brisbane, Woodville, West Torrance boy from the Sandful. I think Ahmed Frog's got a keen eye on all things and all players coming out of Adelaide, so I'll wait to hear from him. Ned Long, picked up by Collingwood. He was part of their VFL program. And Darcy Craven, I believe it is the son of Peter Craven, who played many, many years ago for Sydney, picked up 21 for Brisbane, but I don't see much relevance there either. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it for the mid-season draft. There will be some players that will be 102K and will be on offering. This week, we are struggling for downgrade targets, but if we're patient, I think we've got some light on the horizon. Now, we're going to get into what we call our buy, hold, and sell.
Targets acquired.
As stated a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, we used to have a list of 10 or 15 long. Skiddy and I have now narrowed it down to 5 or 6 for each section. So then we can get... I said 6. Now,
no, you didn't. You went Kiwi.
I went real Kiwi, didn't I? Not bad for an Italian lad. So we are going to just get into the nitty-gritty and go bang. This is who we think you need to target at home if you don't have them. We're going to keep it straight, direct to the point, and we're going to start off, Skiddy, with Sweet being out, Tingles.
Tingles, yep. Why is Sweet? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yep, gotcha. Yep, Tingles, 565K, break even 138, 130 last time versus Darcy Cameron. This could be the bounce back game that he's needed. So, I'm looking forward to getting a little bit of Timmy English for me. Who do you think, Horse, is your next one?
Wanganeen Malera. I absolutely do. Break even of 77, 521K. He's been much better the last few weeks. He's got a huge run coming up at Marvel. I think St Kilda play 8 of their last 10 at Marvel, and he scored 115, 113, 112, and 118 in his last 4. It is absolutely buy time for Isaiah Wanganeen Malera. Mate, your man, Christian Salem. He's a buy.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, 345K, break even of minus 19. As we saw, he did not get any CBAs, but he was running in as the 5th midfielder. We have seen them do this with Alex Neil-Bullen and Billings for one game, but he did nothing else. But I think he can do a little bit more defensive running. His space is very, very nice. I'll have an absolute crack. It's going to be very interesting to see how he goes against Freo, but that's how I just think it's going to go, Horse. I have other ways that I can go, but I'm going to wait and see how Team Sheets come out first.
Absolutely. I can't say this bloke's name.
Matt.
566. No, he's actually 555K this week.
There you go.
Break even of 116. Is the quiet period over? Yep. Average is 117 for the year. And for me, he's still a top 8 midfielder. So this is as cheap as you're going to get him. Against the Dons, up there, the Dons have been struggling as a midfield of late. I think is an absolute buy this week.
And Horse, mate, it's the Bont, 100%. At 632K, probably would have been the right time to buy last week, but he had 139 last week, break even at 140, 123, 125 in his last 2 versus the Pies, and the Pies have quite a depleted midfield. I think it's a good time to buy the Bont.
It is absolutely a massive time to buy the Bont. Now, we're going to suggest who you should sell.
Selling.
Now, if anyone's still got this Ruckman, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably not playing the game anymore because this guy's been on the sell list for a little while now.
Yeah.
But Aaron Smalls.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I see what you did there.
Well, he's not Biggs. He's not Briggs.
No, he's definitely not Biggs. That's for certain.
116 break even, mate. 452k. He's been really down this season. You gave him a chance.
I never brought him in, but I was keeping an eye on him to see if I could bring him in at the price that he was at. But no, he's pissed me off. Not a chance.
No,
I'm going with Harry Mkui as well. 428k break even to 100. He has not turned up in 5 weeks, and he has a 3-round average of 70.
What?
And even 3-round average of 70 horse, and that's even with him playing ruck last week, which is the thing that we said was the key to his high scores.
Oh.
No thanks. Get that garbage out of here. Yeah. Elliot
Elliot has made the sell list. 569k, 61 last week, and he did not look right. Only 15 touches. Yes, the Crom midfield killed him, but groin injuries linger. It was clear that he's lost his explosiveness away from contest, which is where he was so dominating, fending people off, breaking tackles, kicking long, hitting up targets inside 50. I feel like it's not the start of the end for him, but it's the start of where he starts to really bleed cash.
Yep.
And our last one for our sell.
Second last one.
Jordan Sweet, 309k, Skiddy.
Yeah, mate. Break even of 32. Soldo is back and he's out. So, I mean, look, I'm not confident that Soldo's keeping him. He's keeping Soldo out of the team. And it seems to be Soldo's 100% and he's ready to go. So, yep, it's sweet. And that sucks. But as we said, there is a good chance that we could go sideways to Toby Conway for Geelong now, which is a little bit more promising. So don't mind that for the cash gen that we can get. And another one that I'm putting on here, horse, Charlie Comben from North Melbourne. Okay. If you still have him, I reckon it's time to sell. Why? Because now that Bryn Testicle is now picked up, I feel like as well, it's just going the plan that North are going to go with Callan Dawson will be back in. And then when Griffin Logue's back in, that's going to be the defense down there with Aiden Core. They need another forward to go along with Nick Larkey. Pink's been doing good, but I think Charlie Comben, who has had experience in that point, will be able to do it as well. Tickle will be able to rest forward. I just don't see how Comben, as good as his intercept marking has been and how valuable that's been for North, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep him down back. And if he plays forward, no chances he's Supercoach relevant.
Yeah, gotcha. Good call, mate. Being a North Melbourne supporter is paying off for us.
Always, mate. It always pays off for us. But if he stays back, which I think he should, then I think he'll be great. I just don't think they will.
For sure. Let's get into our holds.
Ahmed Frog, Charlie Comben has the bye this week. That's why you could take the gamble on it the week after against West Coast, but up to you, mate.
Dylan Moore.
Yeah. I'm holding.
So, break even of 165, 531k. Last two has been pretty ordinary, but I still have faith because he's still getting the CBAs. He's just gone quiet in the second half of the last couple of weeks, which is really unlike him, but have the faith. He will turn it around.
That's another weird thing. He's been on 60 at halftime. And I'm sitting there going, here we go, he's back. And then he finishes on 70. And I'm like, what's going on here? But, oh, well. Yeah. Petrarca, 552k. He's got a break even of 98. I think I reckon he's almost back, ready to go for track. He looked a lot better last week. Yeah, I think we can have a red hot crack with track.
Yep. Darcy Wilson just keeps on keeping on 416k, break even of 75. Yes, he's starting to max out, but we can wait another week here. 5-round average of 90. Been awesome.
Yep, absolutely. West Coast as well this week. We'll happily take a crack on that. And Rowan Marshall, he's going to dominate, I believe, against West Coast. I think he's just they give up the most Supercoach points to rucks. I think that Romo could have a massive score here. And we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, he got killed by Gorn last week, but that's gone. So yeah, that's all right. You got a watch list though, Horse, of people that you want to keep an eye on though.
Huge one.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Now I've got 6 players here, ladies and gentlemen, as we see the binoculars in the chat. Players who I believe you need to keep an eye out for because they are going to present value, whether it be this week or in the weeks coming. And to start off with, it is our man Tommy Stewart from the Geelong Footy Club.
Yep.
482k, break even of 95, 115 and 161 the last two against the Tigers. It could be bounce back season for Stewart as of this week, mate.
I love that, mate. Yep, absolutely. I'm big on that with you. For Tommy Stewart, Jordan Ridley is a massive watch. He's 530k, 162 last week. Mackay really does, buddy, help him there with being the big body defender. I think it was Kizza that said that he's like Sicily from a couple of years ago. And I think that's an absolute great comparison to what we can see for Ridley. It just depends if that was a flash in the pan because he was versing Richmond or if this is going to be the norm for Rids. As long as he gets over a ton, I'm pretty happy. If I was going to pick him into the side horse. Tim English, and I know it's a big watch for your horse because we are watching desperately to get him back.
Sicily.
No.
500. English. Sicily. 545k break even.
No, I just did Sicily. Oh, you did. No, go. Sorry, I'm pissed.
Who am I talking about? Sicily or English?
Sicily.
We can talk about both of them. Sicily's 545k, 115 last week. Adelaide give up the third least amount of Supercoach points to defenders. Would be a gamble this week, so it's just a watch this week. But Timmy English, 596k, I believe is less than that. He's a big watch this week because he's just got, like, against Collingwood, who are undermanned, mate.
Yeah, Darcy
they got Darcy Cameron. Then who have they got to back him up? 130 the last time he played against Cameron. Break even of 138. He's 565k. I think it's time for Tinkles to shine.
It's got to be, mate. He's got to stop losing the goddamn ruck contest for one. I mean, goddamn, he's been getting killed by lesser ruckmen. Yeah, he needs to be way better than that. And you got the watch list here of Charlie Curnow. And
absolutely,
wet weather footy though in Adelaide against Alira and Asava. So that's a little bit of a dangerous one, but at that price, he's starting to kind of creep up because if we're going to go key forwards, there's probably only him and Jezza that we'd actually look at for primo forwards. So, yeah, definitely a watch there for Curnow.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about the Curnow pick this year. I think it's going to be awesome for us with their role. Yep, and I will be picking him up. Now, you've done some digging, mate.
Yes,
and you've
sir.
got some stats and figures for our captains for this week.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
Yes, horse, I have, mate. So captains this week, I think my first one is just going to be Romo. West Coast give up the most points to ruck. Romo can just go absolutely ham here. We know he can have the big score that we like to see from him. Gawn and Ryan, look, they're just bloody great. So I'm just going to put them on here. I didn't have much to back it up stats-wise, but they're just great. Nick Dacos, 139 last time against the Doggies, so there's one for that, especially at Marvel. That's nice under the roof for him. Marcus Bontempelli, 120 or more in his last two against the Pies, and a depleted midfield for the Pies, so that could be a big tick there for the Bont. Jack Steele against West Coast, even though they do give up the second most amount of Supercoach points to midfielders. But then again, it's over in the West, and they could probably beat the Saints, and the Saints have been shit, so we'll have to wait and see there. Tingles, your man, 130 versus Collingwood last time, so we'll be definitely watching that. Christian Petrarca, 122, 134, his last two against the Dockers. So there is a watch there for track. Mate, I threw this one in here because it's just been the theme of this year. Noah Anderson, he had 55 last week, horse. 55 last week. What's he going to get this week? Probably about 150. That's just what he does.
190.
190, you reckon? All right.
Oh,
I like that.
He's up and down. He's a blind eight.
Mate, he is an absolute blind eight. You never know what you're going to get out of him. Maxi Holmes, I like that against the Tigs down in GMHBA Stadium. So they're my ones that I will be looking at. My VC will be firmly planted on either Dacos or Bont.